This mission is yours and no one else's. When God places a mission in your hands, He not only chooses you but also entrusts you with something unique and important. There's no point in waiting for someone else to do what has been assigned to you, because only you have the calling for that task. This doesn't mean you'll be alone along the way, but it does mean the responsibility is personal. At many points, the journey will be difficult, you may not have support, and people may even doubt your mission. But that doesn't change the fact that it was designated for you. Remember, when God speaks, He expects action. And action begins with your willingness to move forward, regardless of the circumstances. How many times have you found yourself waiting for someone else to take the lead, or for circumstances to change so that everything would be easier? Maybe you've deceived yourself with the idea that someone else would do the hard work or make the tough decisions for you. But the reality is that the mission God has given you, the unique and special responsibility, can only be fulfilled by you. No matter how big or difficult it may seem, what He has for you is something no one else can accomplish. It's time to understand that when God calls you, it's for you to act and take the necessary steps. The world can wait, but your mission cannot. No one else can do this for you. It's time to look within yourself, recognize what God has prepared, and move forward with confidence, courage, and determination. You may feel like the burden is too heavy, like the challenge is greater than your ability to handle it. But don't be mistaken. God never calls you to something without first preparing you for it. What He expects is that you take the necessary action and move forward, even without understanding all the details of the path ahead. Many times you won't see the finish line at the start. You may even ask yourself, why me? But know this: if He chose you, He believes you have what it takes to fulfill the purpose. The central message is clear: there is no plan B. The mission is yours, and you must fulfill it with faith and determination. The important thing to understand is that the mission doesn't need to be explained step by step. God doesn't give you a complete map of how things will unfold. He expects you to trust the process, even when the vision is unclear. In moments of insecurity or doubt, you must keep faith that His plan is perfect, even if you don't understand the reasons or details. The challenge of trusting and taking responsibility is what makes this journey a unique and transformative experience. When you realize that the mission is yours, the feeling of carrying something greater than yourself begins to strengthen you. And as tempting as it may be, you cannot delegate this mission. It may be easy to look for someone with more experience or whom you believe is more qualified, but the truth is that no one else can live this mission the way you can. No one else can bring your essence into it. The responsibility is yours, it's personal. The first step to success is accepting this truth: the mission will not be reassigned. As the Bible says in Matthew 25 verse 29, "For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them." God expects you to use what you have to fulfill what has been entrusted to you. The key point is that by embracing your mission, you find the strength to move forward, even in difficulties. The core message is more than just doing. It's about becoming someone who believes in their ability to transform. Just as a seed needs time to grow, you also need patience to see the fruit of your work. God has given you what you need. Now it's time to put it into practice. Don't worry about others' opinions. Don't let doubt paralyze you. Move forward even if the path seems uncertain. God will be with you every step of the way. It's normal for doubts to arise. It's normal to feel at times that you're not ready or that the mission is too big for you. But instead of being overcome by fear, you must move forward with confidence. God chose you for this. It's not about knowing everything but about having the courage to start, the faith to continue, and the perseverance to finish. The mission is yours, there's no point in running from it. If you dedicate yourself and trust, success will come. The mission God gave you is not meant to be postponed or ignored. God never fails in His promises. By fulfilling your purpose, you will be living out His greater plan, and that is the greatest gift you could ever receive. Noah is one of the most powerful examples in the Bible of how a mission given by God can seem impossible from a human perspective. But with faith, it can come to fruition in extraordinary ways. God chose Noah to build an ark, a task that not only seemed difficult but even absurd, considering the time and context. Imagine that, constructing a massive ark in the middle of dry land, with no sign of rain in sight. When God chose Noah for this role, He didn't ask Noah to understand the why of everything. What He asked for was obedience and action. Noah trusted even without having all the answers. This example teaches us that many times the mission God gives us won't make immediate sense, but His trust in our ability should be what motivates us to act. It's not easy to take on a responsibility that seems unrealistic. Noah was probably mocked, ridiculed, and even scorned. The people around him didn't understand what he was doing, and many likely questioned why God had chosen him. But Noah didn't seek external validation. He followed the direction God had given him, regardless of what others thought. The point is that when God calls you to something, the opinions of others don't matter. You may face moments of loneliness, internal doubts, or even pressure from those who don't understand your mission. However, Noah teaches us that faith and trust in God must be stronger than any doubt that arises. Throughout this journey, Noah wasn't just building an ark, he was preparing for something far greater. He was fulfilling God's divine will to save life and preserve creation. He didn't know all the details of what would come next, but he knew that his obedience was essential. God doesn't ask you to understand the entire process. He asks you to trust. Just as Noah had to trust in the plan, you also need to take bold steps, even when you don't fully understand the mission. Remember, sometimes all God expects from us is the willingness to do what He asks, without questioning the reasons. One of the deepest lessons from Noah's example is perseverance. Throughout the construction of the ark, Noah was not shaken by difficulties or criticism. He didn't worry about how long it would take or whether the mission seemed impossible. His focus was on fulfilling what God had commanded. In our lives, the journey to fulfilling our purpose can often be long and arduous. But like Noah, we must keep moving forward. It's not external validation that sustains us. It's the certainty that we are on the right path, doing God's will. Persevering in the mission is an act of unwavering faith. Noah's example also teaches us about preparation. He didn't build the ark carelessly. He followed the detailed instructions God gave him. He prepared himself, learned, and worked hard. This shows that when God gives us a mission, He expects us to prepare. Preparation is not just a formality, it's an essential part of fulfilling the purpose He has given us. This means you must also dedicate yourself to developing skills, continuous learning, and careful execution of what has been assigned to you. If God gave you the mission, He will also provide the necessary tools, but you must be willing to use them. We cannot ignore the fact that Noah's example demonstrates that God's mission can come with great challenges and responsibilities. However, the mission is not given by chance. Every step Noah took was part of God's divine plan. Similarly, every step you take is aligned with the purpose God has for you. The mission He has entrusted to you is unique, and the way you execute it can have an immeasurable impact both on your life and on the lives of those around you. Noah was chosen because God knew he was capable, and in the same way God knows that you are too. Noah's story teaches us that even when circumstances seem against us, our obedience and trust in God are fundamental to success. He trusted God to accomplish what seemed impossible, and God was faithful in fulfilling his promise. Likewise, you can be sure that by following God's plan for your life, he will be with you every step of the way. Remember, the mission is your responsibility, and just like Noah, you have everything you need to fulfill it. When God calls you to a mission, he doesn't just expect you to take the first step but to be prepared for the next ones. Preparation is fundamental. God may have great plans for you, but to fulfill them you must be ready. This doesn't mean you need to be perfect or have all the answers, but rather that you must be willing to learn, grow, and equip yourself. Preparation is a continuous process where you acquire skills, develop talents, and gain knowledge to accomplish the work assigned to you. We cannot skip this step, as it is essential for the mission to be fulfilled. Noah, for example, didn't just wake up one day and start building the ark without knowing what he was doing. He received detailed instructions from God on how to build it, and for that, he had to prepare. He needed the skill to work with different materials and understand how to construct something safe and effective. This is an important point. Preparation is not just theoretical but also practical. God will guide you, but you must also do your part by seeking the knowledge and practice needed to fulfill your mission with excellence. It's useless to wait for everything to fall into place magically if you don't prepare. Preparation also involves trusting God and being willing to take bold steps. Even if you don't understand how everything will happen, preparation means moving forward with courage, even when the future seems uncertain. Just like Noah, who didn't know exactly how the rain would come or what would happen when the ark was finished, he knew that if he followed God's instructions and prepared properly, everything would work out at the right time. Many times, God asks us to start without having all the answers, but the important thing is that preparation, even if incomplete, puts us on the path to doing our part. During the preparation process, you will learn to be resilient. You will face challenges, have moments when you think about giving up, but each obstacle overcome will be an opportunity for growth. Preparation is where you learn to deal with difficulties, develop your skills, and build the character necessary to achieve your purpose. This is not something that happens overnight. Every step, every action, is an important part of God's plan for your life. Do not underestimate the importance of small preparation steps, because through them, you will be ready to take the big steps when the opportunity arises. Another important aspect of preparation is that it often requires patience. You may feel that it is taking longer than it should or that progress is not happening as quickly as you would like. But as in Noah's case, the time of preparation is necessary for building something great and lasting. God doesn't want you to start something without being fully prepared to face it. Sometimes it's easy to want to rush things, but true preparation takes time. So, be patient with yourself and trust the process. As you move forward, God will shape you into the right person for the mission He has for you. Additionally, preparation is an investment in your future. Every skill you develop, every piece of knowledge you acquire, is preparing you for what God is going to do in your life. It may not seem important now, but when the mission intensifies, you will realize that all your previous effort was crucial. Noah needed to know how to work with wood, how to build something strong, how to make the ark functional. He didn't learn all of this overnight, but invested time and energy to be ready for what God had for him. The same applies to you. Preparation is the foundation for the great work God will do in your life. It is important to understand that preparation also involves building a solid spiritual foundation. You may acquire technical and practical skills, but the mission God has given you also requires spiritual strength. This means constantly seeking God's direction, praying, and strengthening yourself spiritually. You need to be aligned with His plan and spiritually equipped to withstand the challenges that will arise along the way. Preparation is not just about learning skills but also about deepening your faith, which will be your greatest support in difficult moments. Preparation is the first step towards success in the mission God has given you. Don't rush this stage, but strive to be the best you can be. Remember, each day of preparation is one step closer to fulfilling God's purpose for your life. Throughout this journey, it is important to remember that, in the end, what truly matters is not the opinions of others or the challenges you have faced. What matters is the trust you have in God and in the mission He has placed in your hands. Just like Noah, who was not shaken by the criticism and doubts of those around him, you must also stay focused on God's plan, without being distracted by uncertainties or by the lack of understanding from others. Success comes from obedience to God, and He is the one who determines the final outcome, regardless of what others think or say. When God calls you to a mission, He does not expect perfection. He expects a willing heart, ready to trust and persevere. The mission He has given you is unique, and even when others do not understand it, the most important thing is for you to remain faithful. What will truly bring success to your life is not external validation, but your unwavering faith and the trust you place in His plan. In the end, the fulfillment of God's mission is a testimony to His power and faithfulness. He is the one who equips and strengthens. He is the one who sustains you. Like Noah, you may not understand all the details or have all the answers, but what matters is to keep going. Persist even when it seems difficult, and trust that, in the right time, God's purpose for your life will be fulfilled. It is not about what others think or say, but about faithfulness to what God has entrusted to you. And when you stand firm in this purpose, you will witness the great work of God unfolding in your life, just as it did with Noah. No matter how challenging the journey of faith may seem, it is precisely in this process that God will shape you. The preparation, the trust in God, the perseverance through obstacles. All of this will strengthen your character and prepare you for the fulfillment of the mission. No matter how difficult the path may be, the reward of seeing God's mission accomplished in your life will be immeasurable. God is faithful, and He never fails to fulfill His promises. Therefore, always remember that the mission God has given you is unique, and no one else can fulfill it in your place. Success is not measured by the approval of others but by faithfulness in following the divine plan. Have confidence that by persevering, trusting in God, and preparing yourself properly, you will witness the fulfillment of a grand and wonderful purpose in your life. Do not be discouraged by challenges. They are part of the process. What truly matters is that you remain steadfast on the path God has set for you. Fulfilling the mission is not just about reaching a goal but about being shaped and transformed in the process. God uses every step, every challenge, every moment of preparation to strengthen and equip you for the great purpose He has for you. Trust, persist, and above all, do not give up. At the end of this journey, what really matters is not the obstacles you encountered along the way or the doubts that arose. What truly counts is the trust you placed in God and how much you believed that He was in control of the entire process. Like Noah, you may not understand all the details or see immediate results, but what matters is remaining steadfast in the mission God has given you. Success does not come from the approval of others but from your faithfulness and perseverance in following the divine plan. So, as you look at your journey, remember, preparation, persistence, and trust in God are what will lead you to fulfill the purpose He has for you. Do not let challenges discourage you, for they are what will strengthen you. And in the end, when you look back, you will see that every step, every difficulty, and every victory were part of the great plan that God designed for your life.